Hi guys, it's Beth and I'm here to talk to you about works cited entries for websites. And you'll remember that I was talking about for your homework that you need to do a works cited entry for the epigraph that you included at the beginning of your memoir. And this requires that you would also attach a works cited page, which isn't something I asked you to do for the homework because I wanted you to focus on the writing of your essay. So this is really super minor stuff, and you can learn this kind of thing through these quick videos that I'm making. And of course, we'll go over many other example works cited entries in class in future class periods. I don't go over all of it in one day. I kind of do it a little bit here and there as we need to learn the works cited entries. So don't stress. This is your first, if this is your first experience with works cited. Works cited pages are required for MLA format. And the MLA, if you don't know, stands for Modern Language Association. And it's an organization that writes rules for how to use sources in academic writing. And there are other systems, there are other organizations that make different rules for different disciplines. So English uses MLA, and education uses something called APA, as well as psychology and sociology, and APA stands for the American Psychological Association. So it's unfortunate that we have all these groups that think we need all these different rules for how to use sources. There could be very easily one system, but that's not the way things have been done for many, many years. So we're stuck learning these separate systems for the different classes that we take. And English teaches you how to use MLA format. So you see in front of you that I have a works cited page. I'm pretending that this works cited page is the fourth page of my memoir. And let me remind you of my source. I'll come back to this website in a minute. This is the Goodreads page where I found my epigraph. You guys will remember this is the one I copy and pasted from Goodreads. So I'm going to write a works cited entry for this website. And I have a few resources for you. This is the document that I've made available to you inside D2L on the homework for Tuesday. I've provided a quick link to it. Let me scroll down a little. You can't see what I'm looking at. This is actually a scanned page from the new MLA handbook. You can see the name of the document in the upper left-hand corner over here. We've just moved to a new 8th edition. It was official as of the beginning of fall semester. So this is our second semester, shifting from 7th edition to 8th edition. And here is the example we're looking at. This is an example works cited entry for a website. So what we see here that the works cited entry is asking for is the author name. This is the title of the website. This is any date information the website gives us. And this is the website's URL, or the Uniform Resource Locator, otherwise known as your web address. So we're going to write something similar. I'm also making available to you a different website that has more examples of websites on it. But I want to call your attention to these two examples because if your website, like mine is going to do, doesn't show you a date. So you see this example works cited entry gives the date of the website that's being cited, is being recognized, acknowledged as being used in the paper. The date is given here, but in an inconsistent or partial form. It doesn't give a day, it just gives the month and the year. So you see there's this additional information, this accessed date. And I'm going to have to use this one because I'll show you on my Goodreads page. I'm at the top. There's no date information about when this quote was put on the page. And if I scroll all the way to the bottom of my Goodreads website, it also doesn't give me, let me see if I move my frame down a little. It's not giving me very much. Oh, here we go. I found it. So you guys see down here at the bottom, there is a copyright date. So I can use this. But again, like the example I just showed you, it's only partial information. It's only giving me a year. So unlike this example, which gave just this year range, I'm going to sort of accumulate and use all together these examples. So I'm going to use my most thorough works cited entry I have available to me. If I have an author name, I will list it. If I have the title of where the quote came from, I will put that there. Here's the name of the website that I got the information on. I will put that 2017 copyright date. This is the website address. And then I will give the date that I found the source. So when did I find the source? My first video, I'm going to estimate that it was maybe a week ago. I'm trying to remember the first time I went to the Goodreads page. So that's what this access date is about, that I have to document when I found it. So let's go write my works cited entry. This should be pretty quick. I'm going to go back and take a peek at my author was Sylvia Plath, I remember, but I'm going to just double checking the title where this quote came from. So here we go. Let's write it. So I'm going to hit my enter key. I'm going to make sure my cursor is at the left margin. I'm going to start writing my works cited entry. Now I'm writing her last name, comma, first name, because that's what the example showed me that I needed to do. That's the frustrating thing about MLA format, is that there's these silly rules for how to write these bibliography entries. That's what we're writing essentially. It's just acknowledgement that we've used information from the source. And you notice that in this example it's last name, comma, first name. So I knew that only because I've written these many times, but I also know that's the rule for the MLA format. Okay, so next thing I needed, as you recall, is the title of the book where this came from, The Unabridged Journals of Sylvia Plath. And a book title does need to be italicized, so I'm going to do that. You know what? I'm just thinking, because I actually have two titles for this entry, so sorry for the correction, but it's okay to correct things. You guys are still learning what you need to learn. I know this is a book title, and ordinarily it would be placed inside, highlighted with italics, but since I have two titles for my works cited entry, I'm going to go ahead and put this inside quotation marks, because the next thing I'm going to type is the title of my website, Goodreads. You guys have heard me say this a couple of times. And so I'm going to go back to the website very quickly and just show you. See, I'm pulling title from here. This is where the quote came from. And then I'm pulling my title from up here. This is my website title. So if you used Brainy Quotes or any other website where the quote was found, you'll use a different title there. All right, so let me go back to my example and check, what do I need next? Next, I need to give credit to the company that actually maintains this website online. So this is the title of my website, but there might be a different company name, and a lot of times the date for the website when it's been updated is at the bottom near this copyright date, and then also you'll see the company that owns the website is placed down here. So I'm going to type Goodreads Inc. in my works cited page next, because that, I'm going to take away my italics. That is the company that maintains this website, and then you recall that my copyright date was 2017. Now I need to go back to my website to make sure I'm pulling in all the information that I need. I'm going back to this example. So now I need a comma. So I'm also checking to see what are my punctuation marks. So you remember, and I'll double check, I had a comma between last name, first name. I had a period after the titles. Company, I'm going to have a comma, then the date, then another comma. I have to fix that. I put a period. Then the website address. And I want to point out to you that the website address is going to be, we're able to cut things off. We're able to condense it. So I'm going to copy my website address, go back to my works cited page. Remember, I said I put a period here, so I'm going to put my comma there. And now I'm going to paste in my website address. But if I go back to the example website address that I was looking at before, they've cut off the HTTP, the colon, the backslash, the www. So I'm going to do the same. It's like cutting off that beginning part as unnecessary. So I'm going to do the same, because I want my works cited entry to be as brief as possible. This is just giving basic information to my reader, so if they want to go see where the quote is, they can. And then I'm going to put this access date. So that's the day I found the website online. I can't remember exactly when I found it, but I remember I did a video about it for you guys. I think it was last Saturday, actually. So that would have been the 28th. So I need to double check the format of my date. Yeah, you see it's backwards. It's day, then month, then year. So I'm glad I checked that and didn't do it wrong. So it's 28 January. This is the day I found the website online. And now last thing I need to do is fix my spacing. So what am I talking about, fix my spacing? Check out how the works cited entry is written. The first line is at the left margin in your word processing document, or on the side of the page where you're writing this. And when you get to a second or a third line, you notice that it's indented by 5 spaces here. And so this is how all the entries are done. Look at this example down here. Here's another website example. First line is at the left margin. You type until your computer says you've run out of space. It wraps down. But MLA format tells me that I need to have my second and third line indented 5 spaces. Check out this one. First line is at left margin. Then there's 3 additional lines and they're all indented. So notice when you start, in the future when we have extra sources, more than one source, you'll notice that when we start to type a new entry for the bibliography page, which is called works cited, then we will start at the left margin again and then indent extra lines. So I'm done, except I have to finish my spacing. So I guess I forgot to say, let me go back really quick. Notice these are also double spaced. It's kind of hard to tell in a website example. What I mean is we're looking at a website and we're looking at these works cited entries online, but they are double spaced. That's the rule. So I'm going to do 2 things. You see my cursor is already at my left margin, so I'm going to hit my return key twice to bump it down, and then I'm going to hit my tab. Tab automatically indents 5 spaces. You could also do a hanging indent here, and I'll show you how to do hanging indent inside word processing documents in class on a different day. All right, so this is your homework, to write your works cited entry for your epigraph. Again, you can write it in your journal or you can type it and print it and bring it to class. You guys have questions? Please feel free to email me. Take care.